What's up guys, David here and welcome to the Fit Pro Daily. This week is all about creating content for your fitness business to drive engagement, to drive leads, and finally to be able to drive sales. And there's no better place to start off than inviting Alex Brown on to this week's guest interview, share her experience in doing it for her own fitness business and what she's doing now to help other fitness businesses succeed with email, social media, and all type of things to really build that engagement, build know, like, and trust, and really generate leads and make sales. But before I do dive into this week's guest interview, if you haven't already joined our free Facebook group, simply head over to Facebook, search Fit Pro Lead Gen with Dave, request to join the group, and in the group you'll find even more videos, insights, guides, tips, interviews, all kinds of stuff that's really going to help you build and grow your fitness business. Anyway, enough of me talking, let's dive into this week's guest interview. Good afternoon, guys, and welcome to this week's episode. Today, we have a returning guest. We've got Alex all the way down from sunny Bournemouth?
Yes, correct, yeah.
And today, we've got a slightly different topic to the last time Alex came on. So the last time Alex came on, we were talking about how to transition from a big box gym and how to succeed there, and also how to come away from there and set up your own thing. I think since then, Alex's career has changed a little bit.
Slightly, yeah. I'd say obviously we're still working with our guys in the academy, but yeah, it's kind of branching out a little bit.
So tell us a little bit more. What is it you do now compared to what you didn't do previously back then?
So we're still running our academy, still with our ladies, but what we've done now is we've kind of branched out into helping fit pros with the content side of things. So that's social media and that's email marketing. It's something that obviously I've done in our business for years, and it's always like I've always enjoyed that element of it, really connecting with an audience, being consistent with the content, looking at things that work, looking at things that doesn't work. So obviously over the last few months we've been like, right, let's kind of branch out, and because it's something we can do alongside it, alongside the academy. So that's what we've been doing, helping fit pros with their social media, writing content for them, and taking care of their email marketing side of things as well.
Cool. So for anybody that doesn't know what you mean by the academy, what is the academy?
So basically we run a ladies only weight loss academy in Poole. So we've got a bit of a hybrid model in terms of we run group face-to-face classes, but what we also do is then offer the online side of things. We've got the check-ins, the accountability, etc. So I've kind of gone from on the gym floor face-to-face, for 40 hours a week, to then going online for like 40 hours a week, and then I needed to find a balance between the two. So that's kind of how the academy was born. So we work with ladies only on the group side of things, and then the online check-in side of things as well.
Nice. Okay, so let's go back to the first question I asked everybody. I know you answered this last time, but for anybody that doesn't know who you are, or they didn't see the last episode, how did you personally get started in the fitness industry then?
So it was years ago, to be honest. I've worked with kids in terms of sports coaching, so in the sports-based industry, and I've done that for years. I did it at college, and then I went to America to do some coaching, came back, and then I got into the school side of coaching. So then what I wanted to do is transition into, I almost see it as the sports coaching is helping the kids side, and then I kind of wanted to transition into something helping the adult side of things, obviously that's outside of school time as well. So that's when I did my qualification, became a PT. I feel like I've kind of done all of the basis of PT, if that makes sense. So when I started out, I was doing it in people's gardens, just doing it in their houses. It was almost a bit of a hobby. Then I started working at Pure Gym. I was there for a few years, and then obviously transitioned online, and now we're kind of where we are at the moment in terms of the mixture. But it's something I've always enjoyed, being in that kind of sports, leisure, fitness industry. So it's been part of my life for years and years and years now. So that's kind of how it came about.
Cool. Okay, so we've titled this Alex Brown on turning your content into clients. Let's kind of start right at the start. I just hate social media in general. Do I need to be on social media for the content to turn them into clients, or can I get away with not actually being on social media?
It's funny you say that, because I've literally just seen a question about this in another group. So if you want to run an online based business, social media has to be there in some form or another. And it's almost the beauty of what, obviously I know you do social media stuff for people as well, but it's, if you don't enjoy it, then outsource it. It's just, I think if you want to build an online based business, you've got to have an online presence. Or you know, then you're looking at the more local side of things, and it's almost like the old school marketing, right? Because obviously people had businesses before social media was a thing. So it's the old school, you know, going out and connecting with different businesses and leaflets, flyers, connecting with schools, what, you know, whatever it might be. But I think if you want to grow an online business, you've got to have an online presence of some sort. And that doesn't mean you need to be on social. I mean, social media can be, you know, it's a bit of a, I think it's a very controversial thing in terms of, you need to be on social media, but that doesn't mean we need to spend 12 hours on social media. Do you know what I mean? We can all go on and do one post and it ends up taking us 5 hours to do it, because we end up sat down some TikTok, YouTube, Facebook video hole that we can't seem to get out of. So, you know, I think you need to do it, but you've got to have a balance there in terms of making sure it's not the be all and end all of everything that you do.
Cool. Okay. So we need to be on social media and we have to be posting. So that brings me on to the next question. Then, am I just posting a picture of me and my new dog? Am I posting a picture of me and my clients? Am I posting about me going for a walk? Am I video, images, text? What type of content am I posting?
Yeah, I think this is the thing. In the beginning, from people that don't post a lot on social media to suddenly doing it consistently, we're talking daily, twice a day. As you start to build your audience, you're going to start to see what they like to see from you, right? So you're going to start to see what not necessarily gets the most engagement, but obviously that is the simplest and easiest way to see what people like to see. You know, and it's a case of asking your current clients, like, what do they engage more on Facebook? And it has to be something as well that you are comfortable doing. Do you know what I mean? I think video is massive. That doesn't mean everyone's comfortable with doing video, right? So I think definitely in the beginning, we need loads and loads of different things in terms of video, in terms of infographics, in terms of images. Interesting what you said in terms of like pictures of you and your dog or whatever. There has to be a basis of you, right? I think, you know, something that PT struggle with is trying to be too professional in the way they post. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, I'm a business owner, so I need to give value and I need to give information and I need to be, you know, a business owner. I can't be, you know, a friend, so to speak, right? But, you know, we're transitioning to a phase where people want to know the person behind the business, right? It's why like reality shows and everything, people want to know the behind the scenes stuff. Yeah. So, you know, you've got to post a bit about you. You've got to post a bit about your personality, your likes, your values. So actually people see that, yes, you own a business and yes, you can help them do this, but then they get to know the person behind the business. So actually, if they like you as a person, you've almost sold it to them, if that makes sense, right? I think personal training and coaching is a very intimate experience. Do you know what I mean? You're meeting someone and you're basically asking them to send you over a picture like in their underwear. Do you know what I mean? It's a before picture and they don't even fucking know you. But I think as long as you know, they get to know the person before that, then you're on to a winner, really. And I think sometimes that can hold people back because they don't want to put their full personality across for the fear of judgment, people not liking them. But you know, if you can put yourself across, not only are you going to pick up more clients, but you're then going to pick up clients that like you. So your retention rate is going to go through the roof, right? Because they see you more as a friend. Yes, you help them get XYZ results, but they like the person that they're working with.
Yeah, and it's like a massive valid point that, especially when somebody's new, like take our gym, maybe even your setup, your ladies only, and you're a weight loss place. People coming into these settings are mostly scared. They're nervous about stepping in, the fear of 100%. Unknown. But like say, if they've been following you on social media for a couple of weeks or even a couple of days, and they see, here's Alex training the clients, here's Alex hanging out at home with her dog, here's Alex doing some grocery shopping, here's Alex with their friends. They get to know you and feel comfortable around you. So when they do come in, it's like they already know you and that kind of nervous wall has been broken down. You then just got to convince them to move on.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think that's a thing. And I think, like I said, I think it helps massively with retention rate as well, because you've then got people in your business that, like I say, you're more friends more than anything. So, you know, and you get along, right? I think that's sometimes the thing. I mean, you know, people watching this or whatever, you might have, you know, a few clients where you're like, oh my God, like literally you're doing their check-in or you're doing the session. You're like, oh. But actually, the more you put yourself across on social media before that sign-up's even been made, you know, it makes the whole process so much easier because you look forward to it, and you're then working with people that you really enjoy, and you're not just working with people because you've got bills to pay.
So something you mentioned then about posting twice a day.
Yeah.
Does that mean we should have a schedule of when to post and the type of things we should post? Or we just posting on a ad hoc type of thing?
Yeah, to be honest, I think it's whatever. So for us personally, when it comes to posting, it might be a check-in we've just done. And if it's a common problem, we'd be like, right, we'll kind of, you know, write a post about that, because that's really going to help people in our audience. I mean, for us personally, for what we do at the academy, obviously we'll always post a picture after our sessions. And then we'll always do a post of some kind through the weeks when it's more value based, right? So whether it's a video, whether it's something that someone's done in their check-in, whether it's a before and after picture with the client's story behind it. I mean, I'm not saying it's got to be twice a day. You don't want to get caught in the trap of just posting content for content's sake, because then it's going to look rushed and it's going to look like you've literally just chucked something out there for the sake of doing it. But you know, I think when you've got the mixture of value and the mixture of social proof and the mixture of you as in the person behind the business, it's very easy to do 1 or 2 posts a day when you know what you're posting about.
Cool. Okay. So I enjoy Facebook. I don't really like Instagram. I have no idea how Twitter works. Don't really understand YouTube. Don't really understand podcasts. So I'm just going to stay with Facebook. Should I just stay in one place, or do I need to be on a number of platforms?
Personally, I don't think you're going to start to, I think if you kind of looked at a business, like for majority of people, when they start, they post on all sorts of platforms, right? And after a while, you'll get to see where your clients are coming from. So then you want to double down your energy on that platform. So for us, for the academy, it's Facebook. Right, so we don't post on Instagram. We do the content side of what we do. That's where we post our stuff there, because we've got clients from Instagram for that. So the problem is as soon as you start posting in, I mean, there's nothing wrong with obviously using the same post for Instagram, Facebook, business page. Do you know what I mean? Because you're literally just posting the same one. But what you don't want to do is get overwhelmed, especially if you've not been posting stuff consistently. You know, I always kind of compare it to like a weight loss client, right? They want to go from 0 to 100 straight away. So actually, you don't want to get in that thing with content as well, because you're then trying to post on like 6, 7 different platforms all at the same time, not really understanding how the platform works, when actually you could stick to the basics. Obviously, you're not going to post on YouTube if you're not comfortable on video. You'll see a lot of people, we do it ourselves. So we'll use Twitter, but use like the tweet and then screenshot that to use for Facebook, use for Instagram, etc. But I think after a while, you'll get to see, or actually majority of my clients have come from referrals on Facebook. So let's double down on Facebook. Yeah. And then we could spend our time, rather than posting a random post on Instagram or Twitter or YouTube, you know, we could spend the time that we would be posting on those platforms, engaging with the people that comment on my stuff on Facebook, that like my stuff on Facebook, you know, and that's where you could be spending your time. But obviously in the beginning, you're going to need to start posting on different platforms to see. You almost want to funnel it down, right? So you want to channel your energy into 1 or 2 platforms, depending on where your clients are coming from.
Yeah, I think he says a really good point there. Like when you start seeing where your clients are coming from, even if you're not sure, just make sure you're keeping track of the actual numbers of these different places, because that will tell you where you need to, like you said, double down, where you need to really focus all your attention. Because if you do suddenly notice like, wow, I'm actually getting lots of inquiries from Instagram. I don't really use Instagram. You're like, oh, damn, quick, I need to now get on Instagram and be using it a lot more.
So sometimes that can be the way. And obviously really easy as well is literally you could just put, I mean, you'll probably know anyway, but if you've got like a client that's signed up or whatever, literally just have a quick question in your sign up form, onboarding form or whatever it is. Where did you hear from us? Where did you hear about us? Do you know what I mean? And suddenly you'll start gathering data about where these people have heard from you. It could be friends. So, you know, right, I need to keep tagging people in the post that I'm doing because that's where they've heard from me from. Okay. Yeah. And so, it's just a case of looking at where it's coming from.
Okay. So we know we need to post on social media or in a variety of places. We know we need to post about us, business, work, transformation, all kinds of different things. We know we need to post roughly twice a day. We've covered platforms and everything. So I've got my content now. How do I make that content tell someone to buy my program, to join my business, to inquire about what I have? How do you turn content into clients?
So, the biggest thing is that content, and PTs have heard it over and over again, but it has to speak to somebody. It has to speak to a specific person, right? So it has to, I think years ago, not even that long ago, it was very easy to post a post about weight loss, steps, calories, and it'd be quite easy to traction that into clients, right? But now it has to go deeper with the amount of fit pros, coaches, PTs that are posting regularly on social media. You've got to find a way to stand out. So as much as you could be cutting out 80, 90%, that's fine, because you've got 10% that know that you are the person that's going to help them. And you've got to make it audience specific. And as I say, it goes a lot deeper than mums for weight loss, right? It needs to go deeper, because you need somebody to read that post and be like, right, that is the person that can help me. Granted, it's not going to happen on one post. We know that. It might take one, it might take 101, but you need to be specific in terms of who you're talking to. And what I'll do sometimes with the coaches that we work with, I'll be like, right, so kind of look at your post from your audience's point of view, right? So put yourself in your audience's shoes, the person you want to work with. Does that speak, would you be interested in signing up from that post? And that's what you got to ask yourself. So it's like, we're speaking to a guy the other day, and like, no disrespect to him, but he was quite a big guy in terms of obviously like bodybuilder physique, really, really lean. And he posted a picture of himself, squatting in the gym, I don't know, 160K or whatever it might be, doesn't matter.
Easy.
Yeah, that's true. And I said to him, so, from my point of view, right, and someone might differ. For me, I looked at him and I thought, all right, he probably works with bodybuilding competitors. Do you know what I mean? He's looking for people that get PB and squat. He's like, oh yeah, I work with women in weight loss. I was like, right, if we literally sit and look at that post, does that scream women and weight loss to you? No, not really. Do you know what I mean? Because again, without being stereotypical, if I was a female looking at that I wanted to lose weight, I'd be like, right, well, first of all, that weight scares me. First of all, I don't like going into a gym. That intimidates me. No chance. So you scroll right past, right? So you need to stand or sit in your audience's shoes and think to yourself, does this post speak? Even ask your current clients, right? Ask your current clients to read this post, watch this video. Does that speak to you? No. Okay, cool. So we need to change it a little bit. Yeah. So it's got to be super, super specific. And as I say, because social media is so busy, we need to go a lot deeper than just weight loss, muscle gain, trying to get a PB, whatever it might be. It needs to go deeper. So in terms of barriers, in terms of struggles, in terms of desires, what have they tried before? And as I say, use your current clients as like a library almost, right? And you'll know what they struggle with, and you would have known them long enough now, so you can ask them. But so every piece of content you post, it has to speak to a specific person. We're not talking about a group of people. We're not talking about mums. We're not talking about 18-year-old students. We're talking to a specific person. And the more you do that, you'll then start to build an audience of people. So granted, you would have cut out a lot of your social media audience, and that's fine, because that's not who you are targeting to help. Granted, you'll get people coming from different that just want to work with you because, I don't know, you support Man United or whatever. But what I'm saying is from an audience specific point of view, that's what we kind of need to look at. So, that's the biggest thing. That is absolutely the biggest thing. It has to speak to somebody.
Okay. So we work with, like you say, ladies that want to lose weight, and the content needs to be talking about the journey, or not being scared, or just something that we know that goes on within their mind or in their head. Is there like a structure? Is there key points we have to nail within this post to almost take them to that next level on the buying journey? Is there like a formula? Is there a number of steps? Is there a certain framework we need to follow to take that person from a viewer to a client?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things you kind of want to look at when it comes to the post. So first of all, you kind of want to look at the image that you're using, right? So it needs to, I did a post about this yesterday. So this is where you need to Again, post more of you so people recognize your face. So when they're scrolling through Facebook, they see your face and they're like, oh, this is a post from such and such. So it'll get them to stop, right? Because that's the first step. We wanted to get them to stop scrolling, because you know what people are like, you just scroll and things can get missed. The other thing you want to look at is obviously, so first of all, the image. So first of all, you use your face. Secondly, you want some sort of loose. And I say loose because, you know, PTs can go down a rabbit hole of spending hours on this, but you want a loose branding technique, right? So whether that's colors or whether it's font. So again, when people are scrolling through, they see your color and it gets them to stop. So first of all, so that's the main thing. So first of all, we've got someone to stop scrolling, right? Because they've seen your brand, they've seen your image. And then you kind of want to think about in terms of the opening line. So you want it to create intrigue, you want it to create excitement, you want people to read it. Because as much as someone might see your image or your colors, do you know what I mean? It doesn't mean they're necessarily always going to stop and read. So like I say, you want to have something that resonates with them, that relates to them. So for example, rather than talking about something in the opening line that they've heard of before, so it could be like, do you want to learn how to lose weight eating pizza, right? Everyone's heard that. They've heard that a million times. So, you know, a good opening line you could literally use is weight loss is hard, right? So straight away you've resonated with them and you've related to them and they're like, yeah, actually, you know what? Weight loss is hard. And you've gained their attention, right? So straight up, and then you're going to get them to start reading. I think when it comes to client testimonial posts, you want to kind of use a little bit of a story. Yeah. So a story in terms of what they've struggled with, rather than being like, oh, this is my client Claire and she lost 3 stone. Isn't that great? Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But you want to go a little bit more in depth in terms of, you know, this was Claire before she came to us. She struggled with X, Y, Z. You know, these are our before and after pictures. You know, this is a small quote from Claire and now we've achieved X, Y, Z. Right. So straight away you've resonated with them and they're going to look at it and be like, oh, you know what? I struggle with X, Y, Z. I would like to achieve X, Y, Z. Right. So you want to go as much as you can. You want to go in depth with going back to your ideal client stuff. Right. So in terms of an actual framework, we don't want to get massively caught up in it must start like that. It must start like that. So you're looking at little things in which you need to include. So obviously in terms of the image, in terms of the branding, in terms of the first line that we spoke about as well. And make sure that every post is touching on certain points that you know your ideal client looks at, feels, wants, goals, whatever it might be. Yeah. So every single post, obviously we know that not everyone's going to read it, you know, algorithm and all that jazz, but every post is going to push that needle closer and closer to them being like, yeah, this is the person that's going to help me, right? And then obviously at the end of every post you need some sort of call to action, because one day they'll read it and be like, right, I need to do this now. Do you know what I mean? I've read enough posts from them, they've convinced me enough, I trust them enough, I know them, let's do it. And that's the day where you have to have a call to action, right? But we don't know when that day is, so it's got to be there. So it's a case of click the link, DM me for more information, you know, drop an emoji at the bottom, whatever it might be, but giving them a very clear, what do I do next? Because I want your help.
Yeah. So like 2 key things you said there was, when you, especially the success story one, it's good about saying, yeah, Jane lost 2 stone. Well done to Jane. Put some backstory to it, because you've got someone who's following you for a while and they're like, wow, I'd like to look like Jane. Jane, mama too, works full time. In their mind, they're going, I'm a mama too. I work full time. Jane also was scared. I'm also scared of the gym. And now she came to the, cool, could I do to the gym? And these are the type of results. So you're building that backstory. So when someone sees it, they're like, she was in the position I'm in now.
100%,
Now look where she is. So like that's key. And then the call to action, that's massive. And this is something we say to anybody all the time. A warm lead and a cold lead, there's no real difference in the quality of the lead. All you're looking for is an indication, and that indication is anything. If they like your post, that's an indication. If they share your post, indication. If they comment on your post, that's an indication. Any sort of indication is somebody showing an interest. So that call to action, like you said, drop a GIF below, drop me a message, tag somebody, share that, whatever they do with that post, that's an indication that shows they've read it and they like it for some reason. So
100%.
Go.
Yeah, no, I think that's the thing. And I think sometimes we can be a little bit, I think we don't want to come across as like, no, I don't think desperate's the right word, but we don't want to be like, buy my shit. Do you know what I mean? So actually it's like, oh no, I won't do a call to action today. I'll save it to, tomorrow, or do it another day, because we don't want to feel like we're being too salesy and pushing people too much. But you've got to think exactly what I say to people with emails as well. It's like, one day someone's going to read that post and they're going to be like, right, I need this person's help. If you've not made it absolute crystal clear in terms of what they need to do next, it gets forgotten, right? But as I say, we don't know when that day is going to be, so it's got to be crystal clear every single day. So when it lands in, when they land on your post and they've made that decision, they need to know absolutely what to do next.
Cool, 100%. And the only thing haven't really mentioned is the buying cycle. So like, when you're doing these posts, when you're doing these emails, when you're doing everything you're doing, you need to be ticking almost every stage, because people sometimes don't even know that they want to lose weight just yet. That's completely different to someone who's stood in your gym ready to hand you the card because they're
100%.
ready to pay. So you need to hit them at every single end. They don't know they want to change. Someone said something and they're thinking, maybe I do need to change. They've then seen an advert, they've Googled it. Okay, now they're thinking about changing. Now they've reached out, so they're physically ready to change, and now
100%.
they've paid to change. So you need to hit them at all the angles, which makes it even more complicated.
Oh, definitely.
Like,
and everyone's different as well when it comes to buying. Do you know what I mean? Like, some people are quite an impulse buyer, so they only need to see one ad and be like, yeah, fuck it. Like, there you go. There's my card details. Yeah, no, literally, I'm like that as well. Whereas other people, like, it can take months. And I think that's where a lot of coaches and PTs struggle, because actually it's knowing that putting out that post today, the chances of somebody reaching out are probably quite low, but actually someone's read that post, and it is usually is what, you probably had it at the gym or whatever, but you'll find that the people sign up are usually the ones you've never heard of, because they've never engaged, they've never commented, they've never shared, but the message will usually start with, I've been following you for X amount of time. Yeah. Or I keep seeing your posts, or I've seen this. But the problem is, if you're not going to be consistent with your content, you're never going to get a message like that, because they would have seen one, thought it was quite good, but you've only pushed that needle a little bit, and then you've not posted because you don't think it's working. So then you've lost that person, and then it's going to be very difficult. So I think, fitting in that 20-30 minutes a day, if that, like I say, if you know exactly what you're talking about, it doesn't take that long. So fitting in that 20-30 minutes, just get that post out there. Anyone who's reading it, you've then nudged them that little bit closer. And as you say, for some people, it'll take one post. For some people, it'll take 6 months of posting. But I mean, we're the same at the academy. Like, the amount of messages we'll have in terms of, I've been following you for X amount of time. And like I say, 80% of them, I've never heard of them, in terms of not having a notification because they've liked or commented. But they are people watching in the background. And that's what I think people forget about. It's almost like, oh, my posts aren't getting any engagement, but there will be people watching.
And now you're thinking there's a post for everybody listening or watching.
Yeah.
Have you been following me for a while, but you've never shown any interest? Then today's your lucky day. I've got a special offer, blah, blah, come and join. Or the one we're using quite a lot now, and it's working really well, is polls. Put a poll out, let people vote. Like, hey, thanks for commenting on my poll, or clicking this link on my poll. Tell me a little bit more about this issue. Start the conversation, and there you go.
That's it. I think that's the thing with content is great, but it's all there from conversations, and the content starts conversations. Do you know what I mean? I think if we looked at it in terms of, you put out a piece of content and you put like a moon clerk link or whatever, do you know what I mean? 9 times out of 10, it's not going to happen. If you got into a conversation with somebody, do you know what I mean? Not only that you've reached out to them, so they appreciate that, but you're then at the forefront of their mind as well.
It's like the old saying about when you go to the bar and you see a girl or a guy that you've taken a fancy to, you don't just say, let's go back to mine. You buy a drink and do all the small talk and everything first.
No, 100%. And that is the beauty of social media as well, in a nutshell. And I think, we don't want to kind of underestimate how powerful it like, literally, social media is a free platform for you to showcase how great your business is, and you as a person to reach. Obviously, everyone's business is different, whether you're local, whether you work worldwide, whatever it might be, but you reach so many people. But it's not used in the right way enough. Personally, I don't think, from PTs and coaches in order to do that.
Cool. Okay, Alex, to wrap this up, have you got any final tips or final insights into turning your prospects, readers, viewers, watchers, listeners into a paying client, or even just a quality lead?
Yeah, so I think we spoke a lot about social media, and I think email marketing is something that gets lost quite a lot as well. So in terms of, obviously, for social media, if people feel they're not getting the leads, etc., they want from social media, 9 times out of 10 they'll go to Facebook ads, which obviously I know you run, etc., and people run. So you'll ask for an email, phone number, name, email address, right? And you'll get people book into a call. But a lot of these email addresses won't book in for a call for whatever reason, and so many PTs leave them and forget about them when they are literally leads that have put their hand up and said, I'll be interested, right? But circumstances change, as they always do. They forgot to book a call, they got distracted by their kids, whatever it might be. But so many PTs and coaches that I'll speak to, they have an email list and they don't market to them. So if you're kind of watching this and you have an email list and you don't market to them, go and write an email to them today. Literally say to them, hi, so I've been MIA, we've been concentrating, we've got really busy with our VIP clients, or whatever it is, the program that you run, from now on, twice a week, we're going to write you, a value-based email on XYZ, right? So reopen it, because whether you've got 10 people on your list or, 10,000 people on your list, they are people that at some point down the line said, I am interested in your program. But just because they didn't buy straight away, they can get forgotten about, right? So right there, and like the people on your email list are so much warmer than the people on social media, because they've already said yes. It was just a long time ago, and for whatever reason, their circumstances changed. So go back and market to them. Literally take 5 minutes today, go and write them an email, because it gets forgotten about far too often.
Nice. And that is the thing. Find a platform that you want to be on, the one you enjoy creating for.
Yeah.
You can get success, I'm guessing, with any platform. You can probably get success on Pinterest if you tried hard enough.
If you knew it and you were consistent with it, you'd get success on it. But yeah, cool. It's in the beginning. Yeah, look at where you're getting your clients from, and then double down on that social media platform, and you'll see some really big wins quite quick as well.
Okay, so for anybody listening or watching who's like, what is Alex on about with this email stuff or this social media stuff? How can they reach out and find out a little bit more about what it is you're actually talking about?
So a lot of the value in the content that we post is on Instagram. So it'd be under Alex Brown Content Coach on Instagram. We post a lot of posts on there twice daily, as I said, because that's what you need to do. Stories and stuff as well. And and like I say, it's just about as basic as it is, but I think posting content, whether it's email, whether it's social media, has become the thing, right? You're never gonna meet a mentor or a guru, which is such a horrible word, that doesn't say don't post content, apart from if they're trying to sound different and want you to buy their £1,000 program. But the point is we have to do it right. Yeah. And if we can do it right and we can do it consistent, you can turn your content into clients. If we're hitting all the barriers along the way.
Nice. Alex, I appreciate your time today. Thanks for coming on. For anybody watching, I'm guessing they'll either listen back or they'll reach out, or they'll interact in some shape or form. So thanks to everyone that watched today.
No, thanks for having me, mate.
So that was Alex giving her insights into what it really takes to be able to generate engagement, leads, and sales from your social media posts, emails, and everything else that you put out there. So probably want to rewind, watch the whole thing again, take even more notes, and start implementing some of the stuff that she was talking about. Before I do finish today, though, I would love to invite you to come and join us inside our free group on Facebook. Simply head over to Facebook, search for FitPro Lead Gen with Dave, request to join the group, and in there you'll get even more guest interviews, insights, downloads, tips, hints, and all kinds of things that's really going to help you generate leads, make more sales, and grow your fitness business. I'll speak to you all tomorrow. Cheers.